Chicago, Buffalo, Newark, Washington, D.C., just some of the school districts across the country that plan to teach material for something called the 1619 Project. That's an ahistorical curriculum based on a series of essays published in the New York Times Magazine. It couldn't be flimsier. Students will learn, if they follow the curriculum, falsities, like the United States actually was founded in 1619 because that's when the first African slaves arrived. They will learn that American capitalism only exists because of slavery, and the American Revolution was launched in order to continue slavery. All of that is untrue. Senator Tom Cotton has introduced legislation called the Saving America History Act. It would pull federal funds from public schools that use the curriculum. He's been attacked unfairly and highly aggressively for proposing this. We're happy to have Senator Cotton on tonight. Senator, thanks so much for coming on. Let me just say, I've watched the attacks on your character in response to this legislation, and they're disgusting, and I'm glad that you're facing them down. Why do you think it's important to pass this?
Well, Tucker, as you say, the 1619 Project is a radical work of historical revisionism, aiming to indoctrinate our kids to hate America, to teach them that America was founded not on the natural equality of all mankind and the freedom that flows from that, as our Declaration says, but rather founded on racism. Nothing could be farther from the truth. And the 1619 Project has been debunked by leading historians of the era, like Sean Willits and Gordon Wood and James McPherson. And some of those are liberals. Even the lead author recently admitted in response to my legislation that the 1619 Project is not a work of history, it's a work of journalism. I would say it's a work of activism, but your tax dollars should not be going to fund an effort to teach our kids to hate America. The New York Times should not teach American history to our kids.
If the person who wrote it admits it's not history, why would we ever teach it as history, and why would taxpayers across the country fund this garbage? And why aren't more senators joining with you to stop the brainwashing?
I think that's a very good question, Tucker, and especially since it just happened the last few days in response to my legislation that the lead author admitted that this is not history. It's a work of journalism, and I would say activism. I would suggest those school boards that you named off at the lead, like Buffalo and Chicago and Washington, reconsider their decision to use a work of journalism, not a work of history that has been debunked by the leading scholars of the era.
It's just so interesting. The attacks on you have been so unfair, and I never defend politicians from anything, but I've just watched this. They're so unfair and so ferocious. They're designed to send a message to other senators, don't get involved in this stuff. Let us have full control of your kids' minds, or we'll do to you what we're doing to Tom Cotton. And it appears to be working.
Well, it's not working with me, Tucker. Look, the radical left can engage in all the ad hominem attacks against me that they want, but I'm not going to back down when it comes to defending our country and defending what is great about America and teaching our children to be proud of America.
Yeah, and how about let's just not lie to our kids and call it education. They're just lying. Boy, I'm rooting for you. I think this really matters, maybe even more than tax rates. It's very important, and bless you for doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker. Thank you.
Senator Tom Cotton. By the way, nothing else matters. What matters is what our kids believe, because they're taking over soon, sooner than we expect. And if they grow up